For a middle-class Indian family, enrolling a student in a private engineering college is a massive financial and temporal gamble. You are trading 4 years of life and a steep tuition fee for the statistical hope of securing a Tier 1 tech career. This gamble is uniquely difficult in the Delhi NCR and Haryana region. The landscape here is saturated with hundreds of private colleges, almost all of them broadcasting identical promises of innovation and guaranteed placements. One of the most prominent players in this corridor is the Panipat Institute of Engineering and Technology, or PIET. It is an AICTE-approved institution affiliated with Kurukshetra University. AICTE stands for the All India Council for Technical Education, the national statutory body that accredits technical degree programs in India. PIET operates on a massive scale. They process a huge volume of students across a wide spectrum of disciplines, from various BTech branches to MBA, MCA, and pharmacy programs. To differentiate themselves, they lean on a marketing strategy they call Education 4.0. This curriculum framework focuses on early exposure to technical fields like artificial intelligence, machine learning, and robotics. This comparison table maps the generic engineering baseline against PIET's marketed peaks. On the left, we see the high competition and low starting pay typical of the sector. On the right, we see the hook PIET uses to draw thousands of applications, over 5,000 placement offers across the campus, capped by a reported highest package of 38 lakhs per annum from Google. That 38 lakh figure is a strict outlier. When you review the actual placement logs, the reality of the median outcome becomes clear. More than 50 different companies recruit at PIET specifically within the much lower 4 to 5 lakhs per annum bracket. This discrepancy forces a critical analysis. Enrolling at PIET can lead to a modern tech career, but for many, it serves as a well-marketed safety net for mass recruitment. Placement data reveals a dual-track outcome model. The financial return on investment a student achieves depends on which of those two tracks they target. Evaluating these two tracks requires looking past the promotional brochures and parsing the raw, multi-tiered placement data. This tiered funnel chart maps out PIET's placement distribution. Down at the bottom is the wide base of the funnel, where the vast majority of students land. This section is supported by those 50-plus companies offering 4 to 5 lakhs per annum. Landing in this wide base requires very basic inputs. A student simply needs to complete the standard curriculum without major academic backlogs and sit for the campus placement drives. The companies here are typically mass IT recruiters or local manufacturing firms. The exact trade-off on this baseline track is highly predictable. The student gains immediate job security right out of college and a basic return on their tuition, but they sacrifice early career high earning potential. Moving up the funnel, we find a narrower middle tier. Breaking into this bracket requires moderate, targeted effort beyond the classroom. Here, roughly 10 to 15 select companies offer packages ranging from 10 to 15 lakhs per annum. Finally, we reach the absolute tip of the funnel. These are the elite 20 to 38 lakh outlier packages offered by megacorporations like Google and Walmart. Because PIET admits such a massive student body, the internal competition for these few elite roles is extreme. For the average attendee, reaching this top tier is statistically improbable. Relying strictly on PIET's standard classroom curriculum typically leads to the 4 to 5 lakh baseline. Breaking into the 38 lakh tip requires looking beyond the core academic requirements. The first strategy students use to attempt to escape the 4 to 5 lakh bracket is enrolling in PIET's hyper-specialized Education 4.0 degree tracks. Instead of a broad CSE degree, CSE standing for Computer Science and Engineering, the standard software degree, students choose pathways like a BTech with Artificial Intelligence and Data Science, or Cybersecurity. This comparison matrix contrasts a standard computer science degree with a specialized AI and machine learning track. The specialized path provides access to niche curriculums, effectively placing the student in much smaller, less crowded campus placement drives. There is a risk factor to this strategy. If the volatile AI or tech job market contracts, these specialized students lack the broad safety net that a traditional engineering degree provides. Contrast this with a traditional BTech in mechanical or civil engineering. Those core branches offer lower peak starting pay, but they historically provide higher long-term industry stability. Choosing a specialized degree at a private Tier 2 institution is a high-risk, high-reward gamble. It forces the student to bet their career on tech trends. The most successful students at PIET prioritize their physical location on campus over their specific degree title. The infrastructure at the RISE Startup Incubator, the AICTE Idea Lab, and the AR/VR facilities represents the high-value edge of the campus. AR and VR stand for augmented reality and virtual reality, which are immersive interactive technologies. This forms the outlier strategy. Top-performing students dedicate massive amounts of extracurricular hours to these specific labs. These students use project-based learning and participate in intense national competitions, like the Smart India Hackathon. They use the campus hardware to generate a tangible, verifiable portfolio. This verifiable portfolio is a reliable loophole for a private college student. It allows them to bypass strict corporate human resources filters that usually favor government colleges to secure those 15 to 38 lakh outlier packages. The data shows a highly polarized, resource-rich sandbox rather than a guaranteed career escalator. This decision tree maps out the two student archetypes that dictate the outcome. The first is the passive participant, who views college as a series of lectures to attend and exams to pass. The fate of the passive participant is predictable. They will be swallowed by the massive volume of the student body and deposited into the 4 to 5 lakh mass recruitment pool. The second archetype is the tech aspirational hustler. This is a self-motivated student who perhaps missed a top NIT or IIT cutoff, but refuses to settle for average outcomes. NITs and IITs are India's premier, highly competitive government engineering institutes. For this highly driven student, PIET's specialized degrees and incubation infrastructure provide the tools needed to engineer a Tier 1 outcome from a Tier 2 starting point. Steep private tuition is only worth the investment if the student is willing to exploit back-campus infrastructure to its limit. A student's financial return on investment at PIET stems from how they utilize the campus, either as a standard classroom or as an aggressive incubator.